Hello, my name is Hazel and I'm a Senior Coordinator at Lancashire Mind. Today's session we are going to be looking at World Mental Health Day and how we can support our own mental health. I really hope you enjoy this session. So you might be wondering who Lancashire Mind are. We are a local mental health charity. We are affiliated to National Mind, but we are an independent charity. So any fundraising that you do on behalf of Lancashire Mind stays within Lancashire to help support people with their mental health. We do believe in a future where everyone in Lancashire can have the best mental health and well-being as possible. And this is what we really stand for. World Mental Health Day this year is being held on Tuesday the 10th of October 2023. This day is all about raising awareness of mental health and helping people to make positive changes. The theme of this year is Mental Health is a Universal Human Right. Everyone has the right to good mental health, no matter of your age, gender, ethnicity or religion. Across the world, there are a set of laws to protect children and young people. So here on this slide is that image of the laws. If you click on the picture, it'll take you to the PDF document to have a discussion in class around this. The most important thing to remember is that everyone has the right to have good mental health. Here we have a short video about what mental health is and why we all have mental health.
You can't tell how someone feels just by looking at them or what they share online. To the outside world, our lives may look perfect, even if in reality they aren't. I'm always worrying about doing well at school, and with the end of year test coming up, I'm not sure how much longer I can cope. My thoughts swarm around my head, sometimes keeping me up all night. Some days it's just all too much, and I feel like I'm lost in space. When I did badly on one of my tests, I just about kept it together until I got home. Then I broke down crying in front of my mum. She listened for a bit, and then she told me that, just like physical health, we all have mental health. It's our feelings, our thinking, our emotions, and our moods. She then said that feeling down, angry, and stressed is a normal part of life, just like it's normal to feel happy, confident, and carefree sometimes. We all have positive and negative emotions that come and go based on what's happening around us. These are everyday feelings. Good mental health means experiencing negative emotions. It's not always about being happy. Mum can relate to the feelings of stress. So when Mum suggested I take a break from everything and do something I enjoy, I actually took her advice. So I made myself a hot chocolate, snuggled up in a duvet and watched a film. And you know what? Afterwards I felt so much better. Mum should take her own advice.
Okay, now on to the activity. So this worksheet is downloadable on our website and hopefully you'll all have a copy in front of you. I want you to have a class discussion about what this image is here. What is it? What does it represent? It's really important to remember there are no right or wrong answers. So everyone will have their own opinion and we need to be respectful of what people are saying. Just give me a quick pause to have a discussion on what this image is. Now, you should have paused me to have that discussion. I'd like you to now have a discussion on what is mental health, what is well-being, because these are words that we use all the time, but do we actually know what they mean? So give me a quick pause and have a class discussion. Now, you should have paused me again, and hopefully you've had a discussion about what mental health is and what well-being is. So what's really key to remember is that everybody in this world has mental health. We all do, because we all have physical health and they are little best friends, so they come hand in hand. So I'm sure there's been a time where your physical health has been affected, so maybe you've broken a leg or you're poorly. This can have an impact on your mental health. So for example, you might not want to go out, you might not want to see friends, you might be feeling a bit low. And equally, it can have an impact the other way. So if our mental health isn't great at the minute, we might feel that we don't want to see people. We might not want to go out, we might not want to socialise. In return, it has an impact on our physical health. So it's really important to be aware that these two things come hand in hand. And what we want to be able to do is have healthy mental health and be aware if we're not feeling ourselves. So on this worksheet, we have 4 little bubbles. The first one says hopes. Your hope is your wildest dream. It can be absolutely anything. Even if it sounds very unrealistic, it can be whatever you like. I want you to put as many hopes in there that you have for the future. In your next bubble, it says things I find challenging. So that could be things to do with school, home life, anything at all that you find challenging, anything that you struggle with. The speech bubble at the bottom, it says things I do to help me. This one is really key. I really want you to think about things that you do to help you when you're not feeling you, when you're not having a good day. That can be from going for a walk, to baking, to listening to music, to having a chat with friends. It could be absolutely anything that helps you, lifts you up, makes you feel a bit better. They go in there. And your last little bubble is things that others can do to help me. So this can be a real challenge because sometimes we're not aware of how other people can help us, and it can also change for the mood that we're in. So people can help us in different ways when we're angry, anxious, upset, but we need to be aware of how they can help us. So I'd like to complete these 4 bubbles. Be really honest, be really open with them, because these are all to help you and help you to understand how you're feeling. When you've completed those 4, I'd like you to look at the bottom where it says goals. Now, a goal is a bit different to a hope because a hope is our wildest dream, as I said before. But your goal is where you can put things in place to achieve it. So, for example, you want to get really good GCSEs, you know you're going to have to start revising, create a revision timetable, maybe speak to a subject teacher about what you're struggling with. Those little steps will help you achieve that big goal of getting that grade in that exam. So I'd like you to think of a goal, something that you would like to achieve. That could be something within school, something personally. But I would really like you to set yourself a goal and make it achievable, and hopefully you'll reach it. Okay, so on the last sheet, we've just talked about things that we can do to help us when we're not feeling great. Now, this is really key. So we talk about having a toolkit. Adults should have a toolkit, young people should have a toolkit. Your toolkit is essentially what you have in there when you don't feel great, when you need that pick me up, when you need to look after yourself that little bit more. The things from the previous slide can go in there, so what you've done to help you. But also, this is a really good little sheet that shows you how you can naturally boost hormones by doing different things. So we have things like our endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. These are natural ways to help boost those when we don't feel great. I'd recommend going through the list, having a look, maybe picking out 1 or 2 and giving it a go and adding it to that toolkit. This slide is so important. Breathing is key. When we don't feel great, it sends lots of different hormones to our brain and into our body. What we need to remember is to breathe, because if we can control our breathing, if we can control our breath, it helps tell our brain that we're not in danger, that we're okay. Now, here are different breathing techniques. Some you might not like at all, some might really, really suit you. I'd recommend giving them all a go and finding which one you like best. There might be some that you do that aren't on here, so maybe share them with other people. The first one is the figure of 8. So basically you can draw the figure of 8, the infinity symbol, and you breathe in and you imagine that you're breathing in a flower. And then when you breathe out, it's like you're blowing out a candle. So no breaths, a nice gentle little breath. Okay? The person who's got their hand on their tummy, I'm sure we all still have a teddy. I know I do at my age. So you can put the teddy on your tummy and take a deep breath in, and your hand will go up with your tummy, your belly, your teddy will go up to the sky. Take a deep breath out, and your teddy comes back in. So if you don't have a teddy, you can just use your hand. So it's basically your hand going up to the sky and coming back in. You'll know you're doing it correctly because your hand will raise quite high up, and then when you breathe back out, it'll come quite far in. The hand one is a really good one. So some people call this a roller coaster, some people call this take 5. And basically with your finger, you just trace your fingers over till you reach the end. So you breathe in and then it's out, in, out, in, out, until you reach the end. You might want to sing the hokey cokey, but and then our last one here is box breathing. So people do this in different ways. You can either breathe in, hold, out, hold. I'd recommend 3 to 4 seconds. Some people like to do it a little bit longer, but don't do it any shorter than 3 because you're not technically getting any proper breaths. You can either visualize a square in your brain or in your forehead here, or you can trace it with your finger. This one here is a grounding technique, so it's the one with the hand that says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if we're feeling overwhelmed, panicky, very anxious, this brings us back to the now. So this one's really key and it's really simple to do. So it's basically 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can touch, 2 things that you can smell, 1 thing that you can taste. Basically, when we're doing that, our mind has to focus on what we're doing, so it helps ground us, it helps us to start feeling calmer again. I recommend trying these, giving them a go. If you don't like them, they're not for you, that's okay, but try and find at least 1 breathing technique to have in your toolkit. Okay, so you've worked really hard on creating your toolkit, on understanding yourself, hopefully a little bit better. Now, here are some self-care apps. So they're all suitable for young people, and some of them are really, really great. I'd recommend having a go, downloading them, and if you don't like them, delete them, but giving it a go a number of times. So I'll quickly go through them. The first one, which is 3 good things, you basically write 3 good things every day, because when you're not feeling great, it's really hard to even think of one. You can set a little reminder so it comes up on your phone. The next one is my diary. It's simply that, it's a diary. The breathe one with the blue circles is basically, it expands and contracts to show you how to breathe correctly when we're not feeling great, when maybe we're feeling overwhelmed or a bit low, even if we're feeling quite anxious or having a panic attack. This one here is Headspace. They are all apps, so these ones are all downloadable. The one with the bowl is Insight Timer. That's similar to Headspace, so it's got things like meditation on it, relaxing music, affirmations. They're all quite good. Here is the worry tree. So the worry tree is you write down your worries, you can create a tree and it asks you if you've helped yourself by resolving the worries. The one with the 2 hands, that's Stay Alive. So if you feel suicidal, that is a really good app. So basically you put in your postcode and it tells you all the local help that is in your area. Calm Harm. So if you are self-harming, this is a wonderful app to be using. Basically, it's been co-designed by young people and it helps you when you have that urge to self-harm. Stop, Breathe and Think, is another app to help with meditation and gain some headspace. We've got Calm, which again is around meditation, so calming techniques. The one with the love heart is the gratitude self-care journal, so we're writing down how we're feeling. And the bottom one is the Hub of Hope. I'll get that right. And that one is basically you put your postcode in again and it tells you of local support around you. I would recommend that everyone writes themselves a letter. So to future whoever you are, and just if you're not feeling great at the minute, put some goals in there. Say to your future self what you'd like to be doing or how you're getting through this really hard time at the minute. And just acknowledge how wonderful you are and how great you are. And if you want to open it in 2, 3, 6 months times a year, that's your choice. If not, don't. But sometimes writing down how we feel and parking it can really, really help. So this is further signposting. It's good to be aware that none of these are apps. So a lot of them are websites. So we've got things like Samaritans, Anxiety UK, Minds Matter, so you can refer in to have some counselling. Young Minds. We've got Shout, which is at the bottom of the screen, so you can text the word Shout to the number. It's 24 hours a day, and you will get a response. First of all, like an automated response, and then it turns into an actual person. So a person on the other end of the phone is messaging you back. And that helps you with signposting. That's a really good service to use if you feel overwhelmed. And again, that is 24 hours a day. We've got No Panic, so that's if you're having panic attacks and you're feeling quite overwhelmed with that. So there's quite a lot on there to have a look at. Kooth is a really key one for young people between the ages of 10 to 18 that live within Lancashire. You can go on there and you can speak to a counsellor. So this is all via the computer. So it's not just on the phone, it's by like messaging. They are qualified, they are fully trained. That is one that I would recommend to look at. And this is signposting continued. So we have Papyrus. So this is prevention for young people for suicide. So if you do feel that you are suicidal, this is a really great service to access. I would really highly recommend it. We have Childline. We have Lancashire LGBT. Harmless, so that is a self-harm website. The Mix. Beat, which is for eating disorders. Frank, which is confidential if you are worried about drug use and need advice. And then we do have Lancashire Mind. So we do have lots of this signposting on our website. It might be key now to have a discussion within class to see if you've got any other ideas or other signposting that you've used and share them. So as I've just said before, we do have our website where you can go on and have a look at more signposting. I really want you to remember though that if you or anyone else is in crisis and you need urgent help for your mental health, please go to A&E or dial 999. This is where you'll find Lancashire Minds. This is our address, that is our number, and there is an email that if you would like to have any more information or any more signposting or support, please do email and ask away. Thank you for taking the time today to listen to this PowerPoint, and hopefully it's given you some ideas to understand your own mental health, how to support other people, but most importantly, remembering that it is a human right to have good mental health. Take care.